This is the Civivi Altus. This is the Civivi Altus. Probably not too surprised by that. Now, if you watch any of my knife videos, you probably remember this guy right here. This is the Civivi Altus. This particular one comes with a Damascus blade and micarta scales. Steel liner. All around, very nice knife. I like it very much. Now, this one was a little more expensive than you would typically see them because of the Damascus blade, but typically they sell for somewhere around the mid-60s. Now, let's fast forward a bit. This is also a Civivi Altus. I kid you not, it's the same knife. Everything's the same, except for the scales. The scales are actually aluminum. And I think they look pretty nice. Now, this is a little bit heavier than the micarta version, but I gotta tell you, it definitely has a very nice feel to it. I like it very much. Dare I say, it almost kind of reminds me of almost like a ProTech. Because I have a bunch of ProTechs, and kind of like the aluminum handle, because most of my ProTechs have aluminum handles, and no, I'm not saying it's basically it's essentially a ProTech. I'm not saying that, but it seems a lot nicer than the $66 price tag. I don't know. It just feels like super solid. Now, it's not to say this is chopped liver. This is probably the knife I carried. I would probably say definitely in the top three knives I carried last year and the beginning of this year. One of the reasons is because I like it because it's really fidgety, so that's always fun. Second of all, I thought it looked cool, and probably the biggest reason is because it has like a 2.9-inch blade and I believe a 4.1-inch handle, so I could get my whole hand on it basically, and I have the biggest possible blade I can conceal carry. The other nice thing is it's easy to deploy without being an auto, because while I'm allowed to carry them where I live, my neighboring states do not allow autos to be carried. Concealed, only owned. So if I'm going to be venturing into one of those two states, I end up getting something that's not an auto, but that's a little bit larger, so typically this would be my choice. Now, that's probably going to lose a little bit of its opportunities, because now I got this one to choose from. And if you've seen my video from a few days ago, I also picked up a Civivi Cubit, which is also pretty cool. Now, this one, I mean, there's really no reason to have both of these unless you really think the knife is cool, and I really think the knife is cool, so I guess there's a reason for me to have it. Now, just so you know, and I'm sorry I don't have a scale here, this one is a bit heavier than this one due to the scales. I wouldn't think it's more than maybe a half an ounce, but if you tend to, really like to cut down on the amount of weight you carry with you, whether it be in your pocket or, things you throw in a backpack, that might be something to hold you back. I like these scales. I really like these scales. I just like the feel of the aluminum, and I have to be honest with you, I tend to like a heavier knife. I know I'm probably in the minority on that, but I just tend to like things that are overbuilt, and this right here is overbuilt. I believe I told you the story because I picked up, well, I shouldn't even say I picked this up. My wife picked this up for me and the Cubit as birthday gifts. And the Cubit has a different sound to it when you open and close, and I don't know if you heard that just now, but it's just kind of got a different sound when you close it, and the Cubit kind of has almost like a plump kind of sound when you close it. And I was wondering why acoustically it sounded different. The reason why is because it doesn't have liners, and I think I had said in that video, this is a redesign of this. Not even really a redesign. This is an update of this. So because this already existed with steel liners, skeletonized by the way, this one, had the aluminum, also skeletonized. The Cubit is a brand new design. So if you got rid of the steel liners, well, then you probably have to change quite a few things in the knife, so it's probably just easy just to include the steel liners and then just change the scales, which is, to my eye, exactly what they did. The Cubit was designed from the ground up. Now, I'm not sure if those scales are absolutely solid. I couldn't tell if they were, like, scooped out or skeletonized at all in the insides, but it's noticeably lighter than this. It's maybe, I think it was about 5 or 6 tenths of an ounce lighter. And it is pretty noticeable. This one is like 3.3 ounces, and the Cubit's around 2.7 ounces, which is, like I said, it is noticeable. Both are really cool knives to have, but like I said, there's no liners, so you kind of get that different sound, and it's kind of funny to listen to it. You get that different sound, and then you end up getting less weight. So if you're weight conscious, but you like aluminum scales, that's probably the one for you. If you like something that looks like it's kind of overbuilt, this would probably be a good option. And I was explaining to my wife that if you had this knife here with just micarta, and no liners, it wouldn't be too durable, because let's face it, micarta on its own, it can look very cool, but it's not like a structural material like aluminum can be. So that's that. So I just kind of wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm not sure if they're doing other knife styles in the aluminum. I actually should look into that, because there are some other Civivi button locks that I like. I have the Civivi Elementum button lock, the Altus button lock the two Altus that you see in front of you, but I've been wanting to pick up the Chevalier and the Cogent. And this might be a really good time to pick them up, because, like I said, I've been wanting them, and it seems like the price of the aluminum is pretty close to the price of the regular micarta. So why not, really, The only problem with those two knives, like I said, is that they have the larger blade, so I wouldn't be able to conceal carry them. I could open carry them, which is funny, because the places that I told you about that I can't go with with automatic knives, they will allow you to conceal carry. One allows like a 4.5-inch knife, and the other one has no limit on blade length. So it's like if the three states combine their laws into one, they could actually, have some decent knife laws. But of course, no, we have to be stupid. One doesn't allow you to carry autos. One only allows you to carry up to 3 inches. So you got to kind of plan out your day. And I'm especially me, because I'm not that far from either one of the states. I'm like maybe 12 to 13 minutes from one border and maybe 20 from the other. So actually, not even 20. I think about 16. So yeah, I'm pretty close. But anyway, enough about my problems. If you are interested in this knife, I am going to leave a link to Amazon in the description. And if you're interested in this one, I do have a video you can check out where I go into more detail about the Altus. They have very, very smooth action. They come sharp out of the box. They're just really, really nice knives, especially for the price. Like I said, this one was more expensive, like I said, because it has the Damascus, which is pretty cool, by the way. It has a cool Damascus pattern. But if you just get a plain one, it's about 65 or 66, just like this guy right here. So I will leave the link, but they have them at all like the big knife retailers. So whether you go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, Blade HQ, GP Knives, DLT Trading, they have them. All right, guys. I hope you found this entertaining, enlightening, and insightful and informational. I will talk to you later. Have a good one.